What's going on YouTube? This is LA Prepper and we are live in the car, not moving anywhere right now, as should be obvious, but almost out of my Ethiopian coffee, floor aromatic and not the greatest, kind of cold, but it's okay. So what's going on? Why am I going live? That's a good question. Partly because I'm bored. Best reason to go live. But always stuff going on in the world. I don't know if it's, I don't bring a lot of I bring some amount of global events to the general public. One thing I will mention, and I haven't really talked about it a lot recently, but several times over the past few years, I've talked about Venezuela and the challenges that they've had with their leader, with their economy. People might say it's easy to blame like their economic system, their political system, but it's probably a little bit more complicated than that. The bottom line is the situation there right now is rough. Countries kind of isolated from some of the other countries. There's some food shortages, and the people over there are having a bit of a rough time of it, trying to some are trying to get out of the country. There's a lot of migration in the countries around it. And so it's it's an example of what life is like when you can't go to the store and just buy meat, cheese, milk, whatever you want. Now, I think it would take something pretty drastic for that to happen across large swaths of America for the long term. I mean, sure, you could have a Hurricane Katrina or something like that, but we all how likely something crazy could happen isn't really the point. I think the point is that it's not impossible. It's not impossible that there could be difficulty with power, with water, with even the internet to a certain extent is something we rely on, for a lot of different reasons. Like if you didn't have navigation in your car, if you didn't have a physical map, could you navigate out of your city on a side street or a side mountain road? Most cities have like rural roads up through the mountains and stuff. And if your car doesn't have navigation, the cell phones are all off, could you navigate out of your area? Do you have a map? You ever looked at a map? Some people don't have maps. I actually just went to AAA. Oh, that reminds me. I hate to do this on camera, but I forgot to put on my deodorant at home. Luckily, I have a spare stick in the car for exactly this reason. It's in a rush to get out of the apartment today after doing laundry. But I used to use maps all the time when I was a kid. Everyone did. This is actually kind of a cool map. This is the Los Angeles freeway system map. When I picked up my motorcycle, my phone battery was dead, and I think the cable that I was using was kind of a piece of garbage. And I ended up taking a little bit of a long way home. Let's see, I was in Riverside, I think. And then I got on a freeway. What happened? I got on 91 South instead of taking 91 West instead of 91 East, but I needed 91 East to get to 60 West. And it wasn't that big of a detour, but it was just kind of an example that, it's not always evident from your surroundings, what's the easiest way to go. You might take a mountain road and leads you up into the middle of nowhere, and another mountain road takes you across the pass, away from the zombie hordes, right? So it might seem like kind of a dumb thing to talk about, but just having a map, a couple maps in your car, even if it's just some freeways or it's just a map of the state of California, or the state that you live in. What's up, Uncle Al? It's a good idea to kind of have an idea of basic navigation. Basic navigation's always good. Even a compass can help because, it's easy to tell which way is north when the sun's out or when the stars are out. But if it's overcast or hazy or snowing or a really bad windstorm and it's night, you might always not know which way is north. It may seem kind of a silly thing to think about, like how could I not know which way north is? You know, north is that way, west is the ocean if you're on the west coast. But it can happen. You know, it can happen, especially in a stressful situation. Visibility's not good. So sometimes it helps just break out the compass and say, shit, which way am I trying to go? Which way am I going? You know, and get turned around kind of easily sometimes. Update on the bike. The bike is still not running. I actually just got a carb kit in the mail. So that has a few O-rings and a few pieces that I'll be putting on this weekend. Got a quote for mounting the tires. I have done it before. I haven't done it in a long, long time. So I'm not sure if I'm going to pay somebody to do it. It would be nice. It would be a lot easier. You know, 25 bucks a wheel balanced is not a huge amount of money. I do have to take the wheels off the bike, so there's that, but I can just put them in my car, drop them off at the shop, pick them up the next day. Well, it's not raining here yet, Uncle Al. It rained it rained a little bit last night, but other than that, we haven't got any rain. My apartment actually finally put on guts, so I no longer have the entire flat roof of my vehicle or my apartment complex dripping onto my AC, which wasn't really dripping into my room, but I think it was causing issues with the wall or something. Yeah, so that's nice. It's also a lot quieter. It was kind of loud, and I don't mind sleeping in rain, but the way it dripped on the AC was kind of like super loud. So yeah, the bike's going to get some valve attention, valve clearance attention with, where's my trusty trusty feeler gauge, which I highlighted on another video. So there's that. Got my calipers. Apparently I have a chocolate bar in the car, which I probably should throw away. I'm sure I could still eat it, but that's all right. So yeah, the bike's gonna get some attention. It's been leaking fuel from the carb. Traffic is not terrible on the way to work, but I gotta get on the bike. You know, I'm not gonna really ride it in the rain or anything, but plus it's just fun. If any of you ever owned a motorcycle or ridden a motorcycle, you understand kind of how awesome they are. I'm sitting here watching small planes. I work next to an airport. I don't work for an airport, but I work next to a small airport, and I'm watching these little light airplanes. This happens to be a weight balance trike that has like a hang glider wing on it come in for landing. It's pretty entertaining. So yeah, what's going on in the world? We got Brexit stuff getting crazy. Europe is still kind of interesting. Catalonians have been protesting here and there. The Yellow Vests in France been some big protests. London had 5 stabbings over the weekend or the last week or something, which is kind of ironic because knives are illegal, I guess, to carry around in London. I don't think in Britain, but in London anyways. Mayor Khan decided he would end all stabbings by making knives illegal. And speaking of weapons, House Democrats, I believe, just passed a bill to increase the waiting period for background checks. Something about if they can't get enough information on you, they want to wait 10 days. And if they still don't have enough info, they want to wait another 10 days. And, you know, I'm not against background checks. We already have background checks, but we see this continual creep and continual effort, especially in the states, which is really interesting to me that different states can have sort of different requirements on guns. California has of course, the background check for all types of gun purchases and gun transfers, basically. The holding period isn't too bad in California, but then again, other states, you can pick it up the same day, or it's 3 days. Here, it's, I think, like 7 days. The DROS fees, of course, the ammo background checks. I mean, it's, besides the fact that California is so anti-carry, unless you're hunting or unless you have a concealed carry permit, or unless you're on your own property, you're pretty much not going to be packing in California, at least not legally. So, but then again, that's, one of the many reasons that people want to it never ends. I'll have to look those up. I haven't looked them up recently. I mean, the government, pretty much, if you have a driver's license and pay your bills, you're on a list. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about that? You could either make all your stuff illegally. That's kind of a whole different topic, and some people get into that. But I don't have the funds to be paying attorneys to deal with all that nonsense. So that's not really my path. But yeah, working a lot. I don't know what I did yesterday, but I sprained my middle finger working on a part. Can't even remember what the hell I did to it, but did something to it. Thought about calling sick today. Realized I was kind of lame, so decided against it. What am I gonna do? Sit at home, try to work on the bike with a sprained finger? May as well come in and get some money so that I can buy some stuff for the bike. Some pants, jacket, helmet. I got street gear, but I don't have off-road gear, so I need some dual sport off-roading gear. At least I want some dual sport off-roading gear. But hopefully this weekend we will change the carb. The bike will magically run, or rebuild the carb. The bike should run better, or run at all. Things driving me a little bit crazy, but I got it for $900. Running, they go for about like 2,000, anywhere from like 1,700 to like 2,200. Really good condition, low miles. So not too feel good about the price. Just got to get the darn thing running. Well, I think I'm going to step into work in a little bit here. What was that last one? But yeah, the bike will be some cool new footage. Taking footage with a cell phone is a little bit sketch on the bike. It'll probably be bouncing around too much, so I'll have to get an action cam. If any of you have any recommendations on a budget action cam for like less than $100 that shoots pretty decent HD, everyone says that though. I'm really not the biggest GoPro fan. I've had them, haven't really been impressed. The video quality, the color, I really haven't been impressed with the GoPro. I'd rather buy some, $50 wannabe from China if it's going to take, crappy footage. I don't really want to pay, $200 or $300 for like the GoPro 5, 6 Elite. I don't even know what number they're on right now, but maybe the HD ones are a little better than they used to be. But I had an early GoPro a few years ago, and it was not a great camera. And the user interface was garbage. There were like 2 buttons. It was a pain in the butt. GoPro 20, yeah. It's gonna be like the Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious. They're never gonna stop, But anyways, thanks for tuning in. I promise this year we're gonna have some more exciting videos. I know I've been doing a bunch of lives and haven't been building fires or setting up tents or off-roading, but sometimes you just gotta work and save and kind of focus on some other stuff. I got some paperwork stuff I'm dealing with this year that's kind of giving me a headache, so. Anyways, until next time, YouTube, stay safe. Hope things in your life are going well. Let me know if you have any questions. Probably not qualified to answer them, even if you do. But till next time, YouTube, keep prepping and take